Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another session of daily recaps. Today's date is March 17th. We took one stop out here. -1 R on an NQ long, as you can tell, this guy here, and basically all it was this 15-minute C2, setting the low of the 10 a.m. candle. As you can see, the 10 a.m. does have that open low profile. Set the low of the 10 a.m. candle with a 15-minute C2. YM does have more of a bearish reaction. We do have an SMT there. And then, sorry, hold on. Let me take my earphones out. And then, yeah, I traded the C3 up to the upside. And then, yeah, we had that V-shaped reversal within that 15-minute C2. And once this 15-minute closed like this, I took the next one over, which was this 15-minute push, 15-minute C2 push, and then I took the 3-minute CISD, as we did have that V-shaped reversal, gaps opening up, sweepings of this low, and then the very strong closure through. I did get it in on a pullback into the CISD for our purposes, and my stop loss was at this low here, and my break-even point was the highest point of the day, which that didn't happen. Reasonings as well why I was pretty comfortable is because YM also had a nice V-shaped reversal here that was telling me that we could be reversing. So if we're taking a look at the CISD locations from 10:06 and then at 10:33, what is also happening at 10:33 here on YM is the exact same CISD in play as well with a nice V-shaped reversal. So if the asset that's setting the manipulation and the SMT is also reversing price, then that means that NQ can go and trade up higher. Basic reasonings as well is everything else that we'll just cover in the fucking rest of this video, right? And then I just got stopped out now. So there was my first, or that was my second trade. My first trade I did take. Damn, this motherfucker really is a, oh, no way. Damn, I got stopped out at break even on this gold short. And yeah, pretty cool. It's my first time trading gold in a long time. I got stopped out at break even though, and yeah, it's super unfortunate there. I took it as a, I mean, just looking. Let's go over the gold trade first, just because I came out a dub. But yeah, so basically what this was taking notice that we do impact. Sorry, hold on, my screen just turned off. I gotta wait for a little bit. I don't know why it's been doing that lately. We do impact a relevant level, right? So once we impact the relevant level, we can introduce a new phase in price. What phase in price do we get? An accumulation. How do we like to leave an accumulation? A manipulation. What is an accumulation? A continuation signature. A continuation of what? The already existing flow that is going down to the downside. So what do we take notice of? Our weekly open. So if this is your Monday and weekly open does a consolidation, manipulation, looking at an IRL, ERL, and this is my model that I'm trying to trade back down to previous day's low, right? So now we're going to go and align from there, from our universal model, right? Universal model, IRL. Now we're going to align my intraday profile and the phases in price to get me on side with that as well. So with that being said, where's gold? Right, so my intraday profile, looking here on the 6-hour time frame, what do I like to look for is making sure that my intraday profile of that 1800 is open high into the IRL with a very strong closure, looking at a London reversal, New York continuation. So that is my profile, very clear. We have that London reversal here, and then now we do have us pushing back upwards. So with this intraday profile, we can see all of this low resistance liquidity, looking at a accumulation, manipulation, looking for the distribution back lower. Now I'm looking here on the 1-hour time frame, and I am taking notice that we do have a V-shaped reversal away from the highest point of the day, which is that London reversal. Here's your CISD. Press down. There is SMT in between. Sorry, let me just get up. I thought there was SMT in between these highs, not gonna lie. No SMT there, but there is SMT here. Yeah, so there, the SMT was between these highs like this, and that's what is sending price down lower now. So we did have that V-shaped reversal, push, we impact a relevant level, so that can do what? Send us into a different phase and price. The phase and price it gets is a retracement back to sweep this relevant high. Once you get this high, why do I not want to see this high get revisited? Because of the fact that it's already swept inside of internal and we already expanded. So I can assume that this high with the CISD and everything is my high a day, and we are not going to go and revisit that high anymore. So now with that being said, I can take notice of this 9 a.m. C2. So from a 9 a.m. C2, what can I anticipate? For a 10 a.m. C3 expansion down to the downside to take out at least minimal this low, and then ultimately the rest of these lows as your further draw on liquidity down to that previous day's low. But I'm just taking it to 2R, and that's where I wanted to see. So from that 9 a.m. C2, I'm looking here at a 30-minute C2 as well, and I'm also looking at a 15-minute whatever. Nothing really much on a 15-minute, but I did have a 30 and an hourly swing point, and we're trading within a C3 on the 30 and the hourly, as you can tell here. Right, so we got that 30-minute C2, looking for 10 a.m. C3, 9 a.m. C2, looking for 10 a.m. C3, key point of interest. So back to the checklist, right? Back to the checklist in itself. Universal model, IRL, ERL on the daily time frame, intraday profile, open, high, low, close, and you got a London reversal, New York continuation, clear phases in price, accumulation, manipulation, looking for the distribution. My entry signature, not a 15-minute pullback. We're not trading within the C3 of a 15. We are within a 30-minute and an hourly C2 to C3. So I'm trading the C3. The draw on liquidity was the low resistance liquidity that is located below of the accumulation lows. And now I'm looking for what? The V shape on the lower time frame. So from this being said, SMT, C2s, all of that, clear phases in price tells me that what? 930 pushes V-shape reversal off of it, and that's your 30-minute C2, pushes us back up to here, and now we have that V-shape reversal. Under assumption, after a V-shape reversal with that distribution, that high there is now going to be considered, this is your 9 a.m. high, by the way, right? So your 9 a.m. high is going to be considered a valid C2, and we can see the C2 actually play out. So with this all being said, I didn't take a look at it until like right around here, so I just market entered on the CISD, and my stop loss went to the high of the C2 candles, as you can tell here. So with that being said, I wanted to see the distribution back down lower, and as you can see, it did distribute down lower, and my TP was just to all of this low resistance liquidity that was located there. With that being said, yeah, we got stopped out at break even. I went break even as soon as I impacted this level. Not only because I impacted that level, but because of the fact that, yes, I know that this is my low hanging fruit, but once I had this CISD here, I really didn't want to see price retrace back upwards, just because what was happening after every time we impacted a level, super deep retracements, and we literally just got chopped around for the next 3 hours, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I went break even just because I did see this CISD like this. I do not want to see this high anymore, which ultimately I wanted to see it just continue flushing, so I went break even. And then price did that, came back up, stopped me out at break even, and then continued down lower. Ultimately, what could I have done better? Move my stops up to the high that I didn't want to see. But I was like, honestly, if we're gonna come all the way back up there, we're probably gonna get stopped anyway. So I'll just move it to break even. Also, a reason as well is because I was jumping in on the NQ trade now, right? But super unfortunate there. We did get stopped out at break even, and then only for it to run. And yeah, that's just fucking unfortunate, right? So break even on that trade, fuck. And then I got stopped out of this NQ trade. Let's go over this NQ trade and talk about why we took it and everything else in between. So with this being said, clear up everything. First time trading gold in like 6 months. Almost. Yeah, I haven't traded gold in a minute, but that setup was way too fucking clear, right? So reasonings why I wanted to trade up higher here, honestly, it wasn't really due to the daily time frame. The daily was telling me all types of shit, but I was more so focused on, because this is what we're trading with on the daily, right? So the daily is ugly regardless of fucking everything. The daily is really, really ugly right now, but I was trading the intraday profile, which the intraday profile does tell me what we did have clear draws on liquidity. Yes, what was happening, and YM does tap us into this high and was failing to reverse from this high. So with YM failing to reverse from this high here, what can I take notice of? Then NQ can go and reach the same high. NQ does have relative equal highs here, and the daily profile was telling me a very clear open, low, high close with a London reversal again, and London reversed here, and then NQ does press us upwards, and all assets was tapping into its relative highs that's located here, but it was failing to manipulate. So with the failure to manipulate off of these levels like this and this, now I can anticipate us to go up higher, right? So with that being said, clear daily profile looking like a V-shaped reversal away from it, wanting to rebalance this leg, and we was trading the lagging asset logic up to the same high that YM was failing to manipulate and reverse off of. So with that being said, dropping here on 4 hour, take a look at the 4 hour. Do have a very strong 6 a.m. closure. So with the very strong 6 a.m. closure, I'm anticipating for price to go up to these relative equal highs that is located above me, and that's where I would like to see price go upwards, right? So you got that very strong 6 a.m. closure, looking for a 10 a.m. continuation. With that 10 a.m. continuation, how do we want to see it? So from this 10 a.m. candle, what do we take notice of? 10 a.m. does have a very nice open low profile where 10 a.m. does open low, and we set the low here off of with a 1 hour or 15-minute C2. This also goes into consideration that YM during this time period was tapping us into a 1 hour internal, right? So you have that IRL ERL look with the daily profile retracement closing as a 10 a.m. C2 as well during that 11 o'clock hour, giving you more of that okay shit, we can go up higher. But with this all being said, we do have this SMT fill, which is going to be considered on the 1 hour time frame, which is a valid pullback. You know what I mean? It's a pullback for the higher time frame continuation. So with this being said, I do have an SMT fill that's located there. As you can tell, YM now, or NQ is now being the more stronger asset. As you can see that YM does make a deeper pullback, and we confirm this pullback with what? A 15-minute swing. So we are confirming this 1 hour gap with this 15-minute swing formation. As you can see here, this is your swing formation closure on NQ. So we have a 1 hour SMT fill paired with a 15-minute PSP. All like the PSP part, I'm not going to mark that out because I wasn't paying attention to that. What I was paying attention to was this 15-minute closure SMT fill off of the 1 hour time frame, and then the V-shaped strong displacement up to the upside. So with this V-shaped strong displacement up to the upside, what am I taking notice of here on NQ is we do have this CISD putting me in the upwards direction on YM. What time did that happen at? 10:33 if we're looking down there. What time does the CISD happen here? At 10:33 as well. So we do have the 3-minute CISD, 15-minute swing, gaps getting respected, and an OB as well. So with that all, and a very strong closure as well. So with the strong closure, everything in tune, I actually got a better fill as I got it on like pretty much the CISD in itself. Entered here. This is also the new 30-minute open, looking for 1030 distribution up to those highs and a little bit more and more, right, for that 2R. And we're just gonna hold it at break even as soon as we cross the highest point of the day. Does that happen? No. So with that being said, we get stopped out there, and fucking yeah, it's fucking what it is, right? So YM, the asset setting the manipulation, was going higher. I guess you could have noticed that YM was a V-shaped type reversal away from these highs, but still the daily profile was showing us a nice open low high close, and we do have a lot of targets that is still available for us, right? So if we're looking at this was my target as the lagging asset logic, as I wanted to just see this model here play out with your sell side and your buy side of this curve with a V-shaped reversal and the failure to manipulate this high, which means higher prices. How can we tell that we failed to manipulate? Because we get hit with a retracement and an expansion again. How do we want to go and push out from the expansion? Gaps. We do have the SMT fill as well. So it's showing us that NQ right now is higher time frame. So what are we also taking notice of as well is your daily open, low, high, close. That's what we wanted to see, just to match up with this high, and then ultimately seeing if we can get it up to the rest of these highs to the left of us. And yeah, did that happen? No, it didn't. Fucking, that's what it is. So in terms of model wise, right? In terms of model wise in itself, I'm looking here at a 15-minute C2, right? Let's go over the model in itself with the checklist and shit. Right, so universal model, not really on the daily time frame, but we was going off of the intraday profile, which is a clear open, low, high, close, clear phases and price, very clear phases and price. Entry signature was a 15-minute pullback play. We had the 15-minute C2 trading the 15-minute C3. We had bullish PD arrays getting respected, bearish ones getting disrespected. We had drawn liquidity that was still available as the lagging asset logic and the current high day, which was low resistance liquidity as well on the current high day in itself. So here's your current high day, low resistance liquidity, and we had the V-shaped reversal off of a 15-minute gap that was still holding. And yeah, and the 1 hour gap as well. Strength switching into into NQ as well for that 15-minute continuation up to the upside. Lagging asset logic, leading when the after the leading takes the draw on liquidity, I'm waiting for the new fractal to form, which was that 15-minute C2 that actually closed as a PSP as well. So that's showing that NQ started from an SMT fill and a PSP. That's 2 stages of fucking strength going and flipping into NQ to go and be the lagging asset to catch up to where YM went and previously taken, which was the high that was located above. So with that being said, that's what I did do. And yeah, I mean, fuck. Yeah, fucking great trades. I mean, obviously this one failed. Just another fucking trade. Gold obviously pumped down to the downside, and this is the exact same setup, right? 15-minute C2, or this one was an hourly and a 30-minute C2, V-shape, SMT, strength, fucking flip, whatever, AMD, push down to the downside. This is the model that we was trading here on gold. So ways that I could have done better today, in my personal opinion, I could have not went break even here on gold, but instead going up to this high as my trailed stop loss. Or I could have just waited fucking fully for this model to play out, because this was the low hanging fruit, right? Not this. This is not really a break even low. It's just, I'm not really used to gold like that anymore because of the fact that I haven't traded gold for a very long time. Pretty much like 6 to 8 months. Nah, I wouldn't say 8 months, but 6 months minimal. I haven't traded gold. So with gold, me being in a gold trade, I got out at 10:30. Why did I go break even? Because I just entered on a NQ trade at 10:33, right? So at 10:33 in itself, I just jumped in on the NQ trade. So with me jumping in on an NQ trade, I go risk free on gold. Now I'm not in on any trade, right? I'm not in on 2 trades where I'm still risking 2 trades stop loss, right? I'm just risking. I'm only risking the NQ trade now because I'm risk free on my gold trade, and there's not like I have the opportunity to lose 2R anymore, right? So with that being said, it was break even. It was either gonna flush through, or I was anticipating for a flush through, not gonna lie, but it didn't. It swept out this low, gave a deep retracement, stopped me out break even, and then pushed downwards. I didn't want to see that, especially with this OB already in full like effect. I didn't really want to see price push back upwards. I wanted to see just like a shallow retracement and then a push downwards, which didn't happen. So we got stopped out there until full TP, and then on NQ in itself, we got stopped out completely as it did not deliver up to the highest point of the day. Reasons why is because this expansion leg was also very pretty expanded already. However, again, I didn't think of it as that much of an expansion because YM did do the deep retracement to put in the SMT, and I was following the intraday profile, where the intraday profile does have this open, low, high, and wanted to see the continuation up to these highs, possibly long-term wise. But I do want to take notice as well that we are in between this range. I do want to go down to these lows, but the fact that YM is failing to manipulate pretty much all of these levels, it's kind of like Now, after in hindsight, we can see that it's a fucking V-shaped reversal, pushing us off of a relative level, which is these accumulation highs. But how can you go and like you're trying to go and dictate which high is gonna be the one that it reverses off of right now, right? So with that being said, it's like, which one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Because that's relative equal highs now. So with that all being said, a way that I could have done better for NQ, possibly taking it off as soon as we had this CISD that's located here. Once I had that CISD, possibly going and taking it off. I just let it run though, because I ain't no fucking scrub. You know what I mean? I let it run. I had an invalidation, which was my 15-minute C2. The 15-minute C2s for the most part survives. So with that being said, I just let it run and trusted my analysis to at least get me up to my break-even point, which was this high. And whatever the fuck happens. I didn't want to mismanage my position because of, oh, this accumulation zone. No, I'm just going to let it fucking do its thing. You know what I mean? So we got stopped out there and calling it a day from there, right? Did I do a good job today? Yes. Did I follow my rules? Yes. Did I wait for everything that I was supposed to do? Yes. Did I like the fucking setups and took it with high confidence on every single one? Yes. Did I make any fucking mistakes? Did I take it off? Did I mismanage? Did I let emotions take effect of my trades? No. Did I fucking wait for everything? Yes. Nothing to be ashamed. Nothing. This is just another fucking day. You know what I mean? So great day overall. I like it. -1R. Maybe there's some things that we could tighten up on management wise. Maybe taking it off at this 15-minute C2. But these are things for a deeper journal and not for surface level journals such as this video. Right? This is just a recap. But yeah, got fucked up there. Maybe we possibly see a 12 a.m. continuation, as we do have this the new 6-hour opening about to take effect, and from that 12 a.m. continuation we're going to go from a 1-hour C2 to a C3 with a V-shaped reversal here, and then you could take it as this entry like this for a 12 a.m. continuation. Reasons why it also got chopped up here, right? Reasons why the market just kind of got fucked is probably because of the fact that FOMC is tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm down 1R on the week so far. We had a gold trade play out to full TP, and NQ did go and just stop me out completely. So down 1R on the week so far. Great management. Great job sticking to the plan and everything else in between. And that's what really matters, you know. That is what really matters, is, are we sticking to the plan? Are we following everything that we say we're gonna do? Are we staying consistent to exactly what the fuck I drew up? Because I have a fucking checklist that is obviously fucking profitable and is obviously holding up. It's consistent and it's easy for me to follow. Is it like your 20R motherfuckers, like how some people have 20R weeks and shit like that? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not that good, where I'm not going to be anticipating me to get 20R, especially at this phase in my trading career. It's like, no, I'm trying to just fucking, like, I'm just here to improve as a trader, not fucking get me 30R weeks. You know what I mean? That's not who I am. And I'm just I'm developing a system where it is easy to follow and not overly difficult, simplifying my process, right? So that is why I just wait for the C2s to close and wait for the C3s. I am now going to only -1R on the days, right? I'm no longer, if I take a loss on the first trades, I am going to be done for the days, because I noticed that's a lot of in my actual live market data. That is where I'm taking a lot of my heavy downfalls, is when I get -2R on days. It's like, re-entries do not really work out for me, right? And especially now, I'm also taking away from that first 30 minutes and going back to my 10 a.m. because during my trade Zella data, in my trade Zella data, let's see. Do I have it here? Oh, I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have it here. Yeah, in my trade Zella data, it literally tells me that the best time for me to trade is 10 a.m. I'm a loser at every other time period. So Here's your TradeZella data, right? So here are my TradeZella data. As you can tell, this is filtered down to only post 10 a.m. and extremely profitable, right? If I just took out the first 30 minutes, I am profitable. Like this isn't even like fucking all time. Or and I think this one is all time. 8 months of live market. Yeah. So this is all time of my 8 months. Of course, we're not counting these months here because these are like my like before really locking in and doing good. But for like the last 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 months, I have been green 5 months in a row already. And I'm up $5,000. $5,000 across one account. You know what I mean? And $5,000 across, I don't know, 20 accounts is a lot of fucking money if you gotta ask me, right? And that's over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. I don't know what that is. 5 times 20, 100K. You know what I mean? That's 100K in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months that you could have been pocketing, right? So it's not a RR issue. It's not like a speed issue. It's about a consistency with what is getting presented. If I can just hold this 10 a.m., I'm profitable. I am profitable, and that's all that I am aiming to achieve here, right? Is sticking to the 10 a.m. and it's a lot of these trades as well is one trade a day. It's not even 2 trades. I'm not even gonna front there, right? I'm taking out that second loss anyway. And yeah, that's basically what it is. So -1 R on the day. I'm cool with it. It's fucking whatever. And yeah, if you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I appreciate everybody for your guys' support. And I mean, if you guys do watch these, fucking lit. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next session. Peace.